Good day, everyone. We are already done with the care and management practices for boars, sows, and yields, and then we just recently finished the care and management of piglets from birth to weaning. So that means we are to start now the management of growing finishing pigs. And at this period or at this stage, our pigs are no longer fragile piglets. They are production animals whose performance directly determines the profitability of our farm. So therefore, our goal in this stage is to grow, is not to grow lang yung mga pigs, hindi lang yung pakainin sila, but also uh, to keep in mind that we have to grow them efficiently, uniformly, and profitably. Okay, so bale, in this lesson, di-discuss natin specific areas, particularly yung housing management nila, feeding, very important, health also, and biosecurity. Kasi itong mga areas na to will all interact to influence the productivity parameters that we will later on measure, no? Such as yung growth rate nila, their average daily gain, their feed conversion ratio, and days to market. Okay, so let us begin first by defining ano nga ba yung tinatawag natin na growing finishing stage. So ito yung period or stage that typically starts at around 20 to 25 kilograms na sila, which is that means post-weaning, pagkawalay. And that ends approximately at 80 to 100 kilograms market weight. And very important that this phase represents the most economically critical phase or period sa swine production. Why? Because this is where the majority ng kanilang kinakain ay the majority of feed from their birth until sila ay ma-market dito yung major na marami silang kinakain or kinoconsume. And we have to take into account that yung feed na nakakonsume nila accounts for 60 to 70% of the total production cost. So therefore, ang primary objectives at this stage are very clear, which includes achieve optimum growth rate. Second, maximize feed efficiency. Dapat walang masyadong wastage. Dapat yung kanilang kinakain ay talagang nako-convert into meat or karne or weight gain. Third is to minimize mortality. So hindi naman na masyadong mataas yung mortality dito unless very stressful yung kanilang weaning, no? Yung pagwawalay from their inahen or from their sow. And then finally, we have to produce uniform market-ready pigs. Dapat na make sure natin na yung ating mga baboy ay uniform market-ready pigs. Wala yung masyadong mabigat, wala yung very dominant, wala yung maliit na size dahil hindi equal yung feeds na na-consume nila or hindi equal yung management received during their stage. Now that we understand ano yung growing finishing stage, let us move to the discussion on housing and environmental management. So dito makikita ninyo that the space allowance is very important. So yung ating mga grower pigs, they require 0 to 0.6 to 0.8 no square meters kada baboy, and for finisher pigs they require slightly mas malawak, of course, because they are bigger in size, and syempre they are more adult than the grower pigs. So very important ito because kapag merong overcrowding, nagkakaroon ng increase sa kanilang stress hormones or nag-i-increase yung kanilang stress levels. So as a result, kapag nai-stress yung mga baboy, maaring yung kanilang feed consumption or feed intake ay bababa. So kung bababa yung kanilang feed intake, ano ang mangyayari? That directly affects their or that negatively affects their growth performance. And then we have here environmental control. Very important din yung environmental control because we have to maintain yung tinatawag nating ideal temperature, which ranges from 18 to 24 degrees Celsius. Okay? So hindi pwedeng masyadong malamig at hindi rin pwedeng masyadong mainit because that would be too stressful to them. And we also need to provide adequate ventilation kasi Ang ibig sabihin ng ventilation is yung controlled movement and exchange of air inside doon sa pig housing to maintain yung healthy and comfortable environment for the animals para of course they grow efficiently and they grow properly nang walang stress. With adequate ventilation na tatanggal natin yung excess heat so hindi masyadong mainit doon sa loob ng kanilang housing. We also reduce ammonia levels because these ammonia levels will cause respiratory stress or respiratory illness sa ating mga baboy. So ayaw natin na magkaroon sila ng mga ito. So we have to provide not just yung appropriate temperature but also to provide ventilation or proper exchange of air inside and outside the housing. Okay, so kung hindi natin mapoprovide yon, that means they have poor environment. Kung meron silang poor environment, naapektuhan yung kanilang feed intake. That reduces their feed intake. Therefore, papangit yung kanilang growth performance or their average daily gain. That means madedelay yung kanilang marketing or madedelay yung pagbenta mo ng baboy. Next, moving forward, let us talk about feeding. No? Feeding accounts for, na-mention ko na ito earlier, accounts for approximately 60 to 70% of the total na nagastos natin sa pag-aalaga ng baboy. So that includes the housing. Pag sinabi natin total production cost, that includes yung ginamit natin na money to buy the pigs, pampatayo ng housing, pambili ng kanilang medicine or biologics or yung mga veterinary drugs, labor also, and so on and so forth. So, majority of the cost na na-incur natin sa pag-aalaga ng baboy ay galing sa feeds. So, dahil dyan, very important yung feeding management. So, feeding strategy is the single most powerful tool in improving profitability kasi feeding directly influences the growth performance or the average daily gain, the feed conversion ratio, and ultimately, yung quality ng carcass or quality ng karne from that pig that we are raising. Next, how do we feed efficiently? Okay, ano yung tama na pagpapakain? How do we efficiently? Pag sinabi nating efficiently, how do we make sure that the feed we provide ay hindi nasasayang? How do we maximize the output from the feeds that we give? So first, ina-apply natin is phase feeding. Pag sinabi natin phase feeding, ina-adjust natin yung kanilang diet or kinakain according to body weight or stage. Kaya, pag nasa starter stage, yung baboy, ang binibigay natin ay starter diet. Kapag nasa grower stage na, yung baboy, ang binibigay natin ay grower feeds or grower diet. And also, kapag nasa finisher stage ang baboy, we provide finisher feeds. Yun ang tinatawag nating phase feeding. Yung phase dyan na tinatawag represents the stage that the animal is already in. No? And then we also have here a terminal we call ad libitum feeding. Pag sinabi ng ad libitum feeding, pag sinabi natin ad libitum feeding, we allow the pigs to consume feed voluntarily. Ibig sabihin, hanggat kaya nila, bigyan mo pa. Pag halimbawa binigyan mo ng feeds early in the morning, halimbawa 6 a.m. pinakain mo, tapos nakita mo by 8 a.m., 9 a.m., wala nang laman yung kanilang feeder, lagyan mo ulit. Kasi that means they can still consume feed, no? Voluntarily. So with that, with ad libitum feeding, na ma-maximize natin yung kanilang growth potential, especially at their grower stage. Okay? Next, we also have to follow yung tinatawag na 1:3 feed to water ratio. Ibig sabihin ng 1:3 feed to water ratio is kada kilogram ng feeds na ibibigay mo, kailangan bigyan mo rin ng 3 kilo ng tubig. Ngayon, since water is liquid, kung hindi mo man alam yung 3 kilo ng tubig, 1 kilogram ay equivalent niya ay 1 liter. So kada kilogram ng feeds na ibibigay mo, you have to provide 3 liters of water. Yun yung kailangan nating i-maintain. So we have to emphasize that 1:3 feed to water ratio. And ultimately, efficient feeding, kapag na-follow natin yung feeding strategies na yon, base feeding, pagpapakain ng tamang or ng angkop na type of feed according to their stage of growth. And then kapag pinalo natin ng ad libitum feeding, and then kapag pinalo natin ng 1:3 feed to water ratio, that is what we mean by feeding the pigs efficiently. And when we feed them efficiently, nag-i-improve yung kanilang feed conversion ratio. And that also shortens their days to market. Ibig sabihin, maso-shorten din yung paghihintay mo, yung pag-aalaga mo ng baboy bago sila maibenta. So that means feeding strategy, and feeding strategy natin determines how fast your baboy grow and how much feed they waste. Okay? Now let's look at this growth curve. Ito yung usual na sinusulat ko doon sa whiteboard, no? And itong growth curve na to, or yung tinatawag natin na S-curve, illustrates yung pag-grow or growth of the pigs from birth to market. Okay? So, na-notice ninyo dito sa graph na hindi siya straight line. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya dire-diretsong diagonal. Hindi siya linear. Ibig sabihin, hindi constant yung growth ng baboy. It follows itong pa-curve na shape or S na shape. Kasi during their first few weeks, so titingnan niyo dito sa meron akong legend dito, no, or guide. During their first few weeks, slow pa yung kanilang growth. Dito sa by the way, yung x-axis ay yung kanilang age in weeks, so hindi siya masyadong clear. So, kinopya ko siya or I referred from this website of Animal Biosciences University. So, age in weeks, we have 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 40, and 45. Tama ba? 25, 30, and 35, sorry. And then in the y-axis, we see the weight of the pigs. And kapag nasa first few weeks pa lang sila, mapapansin nyo na slow pa yung growth. Yan. Slow yung growth. Ito yung kanilang suckling stage, 0 to 4 weeks. At saka, 0 to 4 weeks and then 4 to 8 weeks, unti-unti silang merong rapid increase in body weight. So, unti-unti sudden increase, gradual increase in body weight. And then, pagdating ng starter phase at saka grower phase, that's 8 to 12 weeks, and then 12 to 20 weeks, makikita ninyo ditong mahabang portion ng graph na ito, rapid ang increase nila sa body weight. Ibig sabihin, mabilis silang lumaki at this point. So from the 10th week until sa 20 weeks old sila. 10 to 20 weeks old, mabilis yung kanilang paglaki. During this period, pigs have very high growth potential and excellent feed efficiency. Okay? And then pagdating nila sa finisher stage, mga 20 weeks, 25 weeks old, nag-i-slow down na rin yung kanilang paglaki. Yung kanilang growth. So nagsisimula na rin mag-flatten. That's the time na malapit na nilang ma-reach yung tinatawag nating market weight. Nag-grow pa rin naman sila at that age, market age, pero hindi na bilis nung kanilang pag-grow or paglaki during their starter and grower phase. So that means, kapag mas matagal na magstay ang baboy sa iyong farm, hindi na efficient yung pag-convert nila ng kanilang kinakain. Mas nagiging poor na yung feed conversion. And nagkakaroon ng tinatawag nating over-finishing. Kasi di ba pinapakain sila ng finishing pigs, so over-finishing yon. Pag nagkakaroon ng over-finishing, it reduces yung carcass value. Pumapangit na yung kanilang carcass quality kasi mas kumakapal na yung taba and wala naman nang masyadong nadadagdag na lean na portion or yung muscle na portion. So ito yung concept na mag-guide sa inyo na kailan mo dapat tututukan yung feed conversion or yung feed efficiency or yung feeding strategies mo, particularly during starter and grower. Pero syempre, that doesn't mean na hindi dapat tutukan din yung suckling and pre-starter. So kasi yung suckling stage, dyan yung binibigyan sila ng feeds, Diyan sila natututo kumain and diyan nagta-transition ang liquid to solid diet nila. Okay? Next, feed transition. So even if we provide the best feed, the best brand of feed kung meron man sa ating mga baboy, kung we fail sa gradual transition, hindi rin maganda yung effect sa ating mga baboy. So, transition, yung pag sinabi nating transition is yung shift from one feed to another or from one diet to another. Halimbawa, from pre-starter to starter, from starter to grower, from grower to finisher. Yung transition ng mga diets na yon or mga feeds na yon should be gradual. For example, during the first 2 days, so meron akong nakabullet dito, for the first 2 days, feed should be 75% old and 25% new. Ang ibig sabihin ng 25% old ay, halimbawa galing sila sa starter feeds, starter diet. So 75% nung kanilang kakainin for the first 2 days na mag-shift ka is starter. And then bibigyan mo ngayon ng 25% grower. And then gradually, halimbawa next 2 days ulit, 50-50 na. 50% starter, 50% grower. And then sa next 2 days ulit, 25% starter, and then mas dumadami yung grower, 75% grower, until yung last day of the week will be buong full grower na. Full grower feeds na. So bakit natin yun i-follow? Kasi ayaw nating mabigla yung digestive tract. So the purpose of feed transitioning is to prevent digestive upset. Kasi syempre, naninibago din yung digestive system ng baboy doon sa type of feed that we give. Another is to maintain steady growth and to avoid growth lag. And then, kapag kasi binibigla mo, halimbawa kahapon binigyan mo ng starter feeds, tapos bukas, puro grower feeds ka na kasi magsi-shift ka na, ano ang mangyayari? Magkakaroon ng digestive upset. And pag nagkaroon ng digestive upset, dyan natin na-observe na magkakadiarrhea yung baboy. And recall from our discussion on the care and management of piglets that when the animals experience diarrhea, magiging dehydrated sila, leading to eventual death. Grabe ang effect ng diarrhea sa ating mga baboy. Next, ang transition period, dahil we have here 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 dito sa transition period natin, at least 1 week ang transition period. So, hindi pwedeng kahapon starter feeds, puro starter feeds kahapon, tapos kinabukasan, puro grower feeds, hindi yun transition. So, our transition period dapat ay at least 1 week para ma-maintain ang steady growth at para ma-prevent natin ang performance setbacks. Now, let's look at the crude protein requirements of the pigs. Depende sa ration or depende sa stage nila. Okay? So, ito yung iba't ibang klase ng ration nila based on their stage of growth. So, we provide booster feeds or booster diets kapag suckling stage, pre-starter during suckling stage also. Meaning to say ng suckling stage is that's the stage when the animal is still under the care of the dam. Pag nasa kasama pa, meaning before weaning. And then starter, grower, and finisher. And what I want you to notice here is that bumababa yung protein, crude protein requirements nila habang sila ay tumatanda. So from 24% na crude protein during their booster stage or suckling stage, and then naging 14% na lang ang kanilang crude protein requirement kapag sila ay nasa finisher stage. Ang ibig sabihin nun is bumababa kasi hindi naman na nagde-deposit ng muscle or lean tissue pag sila ay nasa grower stage at saka finisher stage na. Okay? Mas kailangan nilang i-develop ang kanilang muscle during their younger weeks. Yan. And then, this is an example of the feeding scheme sa ating mga baboy. Wala akong ibibigay na specific amounts of feed to be given per stage kasi nakadepende sa kung anong brand of feeds ang ibibigay mo sa iyong baboy. So, iba-iba yung feeding scheme ng bawat breeds. Tulad na lang nitong Bimeg at saka Pigrolac. So, hindi sila pareho ng dami ng pakain kada araw, kada baboy. Once again, padepende sa brand of feeds na ibibigay niya. Next, let's connect yung feeding strategy natin to our productivity parameters because feeding strategy, yung the way we feed our pigs, phase feeding, ad libitum feeding, etc., affects yung productivity parameters. And when we talk of productivity parameters, ito yung ating mga ADG or your average daily gain, feed conversion ratio, days to market, and even carcass quality. So kung pangit, yung feeding strategy or feeding management natin, affected yung mga ito. Okay? And kapag affected yung mga itong productivity parameters, affected din yung ating kita. Okay. Next, we have here also overfeeding protein leads to increased nitrogen excretion and higher feed cost. So, big sabihin nun, kapag nasa finisher stage or grower stage sila, huwag mo silang pakainin ng booster feeds or pre-starter feeds or starter feeds. Kasi, konti lang naman, 16% lang naman ang kanilang requirement during grower stage. E pinakain sila ng starter or pre-starter na mga 20% crude protein. So that's overfeeding protein. So nagsasayang ka ng pera and nagkukos ka ng increased nitrogen excretion. So ibig sabihin, hindi nila ginagamit yung extra nitrogen. Hindi nila ginagamit yung extra protein for their age or stage. Similarly, hindi rin pwede ang underfeeding protein. Kasi kung underfeeding protein, ang ibig sabihin nun, halimbawa, starter stage na sila, pero ang binigay mo ay finisher feeds. And notice na ang starter at saka finisher ay hindi sila pareho ng crude protein content. That means you are underfeeding protein. Okay? Ibig sabihin, nagkakaroon ng reduced lean growth. Papangit yung kanilang deposition of karne or deposition of lean tissue. And that also leads to poor growth performance or poor average daily gain. So therefore, anumang labis, anumang kulang, reduces efficiency. So dapat balance lang. Next, since we have already discussed nutrition at saka housing, let us now shift to health and biosecurity. And when we talk about health, we are referring to the dynamic state of physiological balance that allows animals to maintain productivity under environmental and microbial challenges. And also, we have here biosecurity. Ito ay integrated disease prevention strategy. Pag sinabi natin integrated, kino-combine natin yung management practices at the same time sanitation practices and control of the movement of animals from one farm to another, from outside the farm to your farm to minimize infectious risk. So kapag healthy yung ating mga baboy, maganda yung biosecurity that leads to sustainable and profitable production. Okay? Kasi kung magkakaroon ng disease, so halimbawa hindi na satisfy itong healthy pigs, pangit yung quality ng pigs na nabili mo, tapos poor pa or weak pa yung biosecurity mo kung sino-sino yung pumapasok doon sa farm mo or bigla mong inintroduce yung bagong bili mong hayop, wala siyang quarantine period, hindi na-check or hindi na-assess ang kanyang health from time to time, that will result to having diseases, no? And kapag may disease ang isang hayop or sa iyong farm, that will lead to reduced feed intake. Wala na siyang ganang kumain. Okay? Kapag mababa yung kanyang feed intake, affected din yung kanyang average daily gain, yung kanyang ibinibigat kada araw. Tumataas yung feed conversion ratio. Kapag tumaas ang feed conversion ratio, ibig sabihin, kailangan mo siyang pakainin ng madami para mag-gain ng weight. And then, that also results to delayed marketing. Kasi syempre, you need enough time para siya ay mag-gain ng weight. Kasi nga, may sakit siya. So, matamlay siya, weak siya. So, that leads to delayed market. And ultimately, ang pinaka-effect talaga ay bababa ang profit mo. Kasi madami kang nagastos, pero konti lang yung na-gain na weight. Now, let us examine yung common or major health challenges during the growing finishing stage of the pigs. First, we have the scour, or sometimes they call this scouring or simply diarrhea. So, ang cause ng diarrhea is, number one, nutritional error. Okay. Pag sinabing nutritional error, pangit or hindi tama yung binigay mong type of diet or type of ration to the animal. So, imbes na halimbawa ay starter feeds, binigyan mo ng finisher. Imbes na booster feeds, binigyan mo ng starter feeds. Yan. So, nutritional error. Hindi nagmamatch ang nutrient requirement ng hayop at saka yung nutrient content ng pagkain na ibinibigay mo. Also, cause is sudden feed change. So, dyan napapasok yung gradual transition of feeds. So, ayaw ng digestive tract ng hayop na bigla-biglain mong bibigyan siya ng bagong type of feed. And then, of course, very important, poor sanitation. No? We have to maintain clean, dry bedding sa ating mga baboy. Okay? So, ano yung usual na main signs? Watery feces. Of course, kapag nagtatae yung baboy, watery yung kanyang feces. And another sign is dehydration. Okay? Ano yung impact sa productivity? Of course, bababa. Same lang din yung mention ko kanina. Kapag nagkasakit yung hayop, pare-pareho sila, napapangit yung performance. That also increases the days to market. Ano yung pwede natin gawin to prevent scour or diarrhea? We have to perform or apply yung gradual feed transition. Another, hygiene at saka temperature control. Pag sinabi nating temperature control, ayaw natin ng sobrang init and sobrang lamig doon sa housing. We have to meet yung ideal temperature ng ating mga baboy. And then next, we have gastrointestinal parasites. So itong mga parasites na to, or parasitism rather, ang main cause ay, of course, your ascaris, very common, and strongyles. So ito ay mga roundworms. Ang kanilang signs, ano yung usual na na-observe natin kapag merong parasitism sa hayop? Poor growth, mabagal silang lumaki, at saka yung kanilang hair coat ay hindi siya smooth, kundi rough ang kanyang hair coat. So medyo haggard ang baboy. Ano yung impact sa productivity? Same lang din, papangit yung performance. Ang kailangan natin gawin to prevent the incidence of parasitism is to deworm your animals every 6 to 8 weeks. So, hindi lang once ang deworming, but every 6 to 8 weeks. So, that means every 1.5 to 2 months. And then you also have to make sure that there is hygiene, good hygiene. Clean pens, dapat may good sanitation sa iyong housing. And then, external parasitism, usually, ang common is mange or sarcoptic mange, yung maraming rashes. Okay, na maliliit doon sa katawan ng baboy. And ang main cause niyan ay yung parasite na tinatawag nating Sarcoptes scabiei. Okay, that's the main parasite. Ito ay mite. Okay, M-I-T-E. Ano yung usual signs? Itching, syempre. Maraming rashes. Maraming parang maliliit na red dots sa katawan ng baboy. So, pag ganon, makate, magkakaroon ng skin lesions, and that also reduces the appetite of the baboy. Reduces the appetite kasi nagpo-focus na siya doon sa makating surface ng kanyang katawan. Impact on productivity, same lang din, papangit. So, nai-stress yung hayop and then papangit yung performance. And then, for the prevention, we have to also, kailangan i-deworm. And we also have to make sure there is proper hygiene, good hygiene, proper transition of feeds also. Sanitation is critical. And we have to, kapag hindi na talaga kaya, treat before yung finisher stage. Nag-a-apply na tayo ng external dewormer or yung yung meron tayong tinatawag na antelmintic spray. Next, we proceed to the major viral threats or diseases during this stage. Two very important is the hog cholera and African swine fever. Yung hog cholera natin, otherwise called classical swine fever or your CSF. Ang main agent or main cause is the pestivirus. And mataas yung mortality. Actually, lahat ng mga viral diseases, high yung mortality, 100% mortality. So, ang kailangan gawin natin dyan is kailangan i-vaccinate natin. Meaning to say, we have to immunize our healthy pigs. So that once there is a disease outbreak na malapit, hindi sila affected. Okay? Ano pa? Treatment wala. Pag viral disease, wala tayong treatment. What we usually do is prevention, that is through vaccine. Pero sa ating mga ASF, sa African swine fever, walang available na vaccine. So that is the biggest concern now that ASF ay nandito pa sa Pilipinas. So production impact, of course, severe losses kasi lahat, high mortality, 100%. Kapag may viral disease kasi, kahit pa nakikita mo na yung ibang mga baboy doon sa housing or doon sa farm mo ay healthy pa, you have to really depopulate, meaning to say you have to cull lahat, total depopulation. So, ibig sabihin, wala. Sobrang affected yung profit mo dito. Magkakaroon ka ng zero revenue. Yun. So, key control lang talaga is vaccination. You have to immunize your pigs against hog cholera. And in the case of ASF, since wala pang available na vaccine, we have to implement strict biosecurity. Now that we have discussed yung growth performance, feed efficiency, and production indicators earlier sa previous slides, let's now move on to the final stage of the production cycle, which is the marketing now of our finished pigs. So, kailan natin masasabi na a pig is ready for market? Now, very important itong topic na to because no matter how efficient production is, profitability is only realized when pigs are properly marketed. So, walang silbi yung magandang growth performance ng iyong baboy kung hindi mo ibebenta or kung walang bibili or kung pangit ang price. So, when is a pig ready for market? Meron tayong dalawang readiness na tinatawag kapag siya ay biologically ready and economically ready. So, biologically speaking, a pig is typically ready for market at 90 to 110 kilograms live weight. And this usually occurs at around 5 to 6 months of age. Meaning to say, 5 to 6 months of age mula pagkapanganak niya. Yun yung counting natin. Kasi age ang tinatawag, ang tinutukoy dyan. But of course, that also depends on the growth rate. So kahit na-reach pa niya ang 5 to 6 months of age, kung 75 kilograms pa lang siya, 80 kilograms pa lang siya, napapansin mong poor pa yung kanyang body condition score, hindi pa siya ready biologically, hindi pa siya pwedeng ibenta. Pigs should also have uniform body condition and they must be clinically healthy. Wala ka dapat nakikitang signs of diseases. Okay? Next, economic readiness. Hindi enough na biologically ready yung ating mga baboy. There must also be economic readiness. So kahit na-reach yung 100 kilograms, we also have to ask ourselves, yung feed cost ba per kilogram gain is still profitable? Yung current market price ba favorable? Or sobrang baba? Okay? Yung current market price favorable ba? You have to ask that. You have to also check or determine yung prevailing price ng live weight. We also have to avoid overfinishing. Ang overfinishing is matagal siyang nag-stay doon sa farm mo, madami kang binibigay na finisher feeds. And kapag nag-overfinish ka, excess, madami, makapal yung backfat ng iyong baboy. And kapag thick yung backfat ng iyong baboy, that reduces carcass value or carcass quality. And maaring, next time, yung bibili ng baboy mo ay ayaw nang bumili sa'yo. Kasi papangit yung kanyang kita din. Yung profit din niya affected. Okay? Kasi ayaw ng consumers yung makapal yung backfat. So, very important that market timing is taken into consideration. Kasi market timing is both a biological decision and a financial decision. So now that we understand when pigs are biologically and economically ready, let us now examine how marketing decisions directly affect profit. So to begin with, pricing method determines how pigs are evaluated and paid. So may mga buyers that pay per kilogram live weight. That is the most common. That means i-weigh yung baboy mo sa slaughterhouse and then kung ano yung live weight niya, may corresponding price. So depende kung ano yung prevailing price doon sa area ninyo. But there are also buyers who buy per head. So determine mo ano yung pricing method. Next, feed cost per kilogram grain. This directly affects net margin. So, net margin, kasi majority of your total production cost is feed, galing sa feed. So, kahit, even small differences lang sa feed efficiency can greatly change profitability. That is why, palaging na-mention yung FCR, feed conversion ratio. And remember, feed conversion ratio, gaano kadaming feeds ang ibibigay mo doon sa baboy mo para mag-gain siya ng 1 kilogram. So we want that konti lang yung feeds na binibigay natin and na nag-gain na siya ng madami. That affects our net margin. That affects rather yung feed cost. Kasi syempre, kapag konti lang yung binigay mong pakain, tapos nag-gain siya ng madami, konti lang din yung feed cost mo. Kasi konti lang yung binigay mong feeds. And that directly affects net margin, yung profit natin mismo. Okay? Transport cost, this reduces net return. Kasi syempre, you have to also pay for the transport. Transport or yung fee mismo, yung fare. Especially if malayo yung slaughterhouse. Especially if ikaw yung magde-deliver ng baboy mo doon sa slaughterhouse. But there are instances that the ones who will buy your pigs sila na yung kukuha ng baboy doon sa mismong farm. Okay? Ano pa? Mortality and shrinkage. This represent invisible profit loss. Invisible profit loss kasi hindi mo siya, especially for shrinkage, hindi siya usually na-observe o nabibigyan ng pansin. Okay, so itong mortality and shrinkage losses, they often occur after production. Pero before payment ng live pigs, market pigs mo. Meaning to say, nangyayari na siya after production. Pero rare cases lang ang mortality. Yung shrinkage, nangyayari talaga siya after production. So shrinkage starts from your farm until the baboy is delivered to the slaughterhouse for weighing is done. Okay? So, hindi lang yung marketing, hindi lang siya selling of pigs, but also protecting the value that was built during the production stage. Okay? And among these factors, pricing method, feed cost per kilogram gain, transport cost, mortality and shrinkage, among these factors, the most underestimated losses in marketing is shrinkage. Okay? It's the hidden profit loss during transport. Pag sinabi nating shrinkage, this refers to the weight loss during transport. And nangyayari ang shrinkage because of stress, especially kapag mainit siyang natatransport. Okay? Meaning to say na mainit, medyo patanghali na nung itinransport. Okay? Ano pa? Dehydration, fasting. Kailangan meron tayo sinusunod na fasting. Ibig sabihin, halimbawa, 5 a.m. kukunin yung baboy mo, huwag mo nang pakainin ng 4 a.m., 3 a.m., 2 a.m. Okay? Next, kasi kapag fully fed na pa yung baboy mo bago kunin, that's a form of stress already to the animal. Okay? And mapapansin naman din yon pagdating sa slaughterhouse. There will be obvious signs na binusog mo pa yung baboy before siya kunin papunta sa slaughterhouse. And overcrowding also during transport, especially kapag may kasabay yung baboy mo na i-transport from your farm to the slaughterhouse. These are the factors causing shrinkage: stress, dehydration, fasting, and overcrowding during transport. And ang typical, so hindi ito maiiwasan, no? Hindi siya maiiwasan, but we can minimize. So, typical shrinkage ay 2 to 5% of the live weight. So, halimbawa, 100 kilogram pig, naka-experience siya ng 3% shrinkage. That's a loss of 3 kilograms. Correct? Kasi 100 times 3%. So, 3 kilograms yon. And kung halimbawa, ang prevailing market price na for live weight ay 180 pesos kada kilogram live weight, that's already equals 540 pesos na loss mo kada baboy. Kada baboy yun ha. So bakit 540? Kasi 180 pesos per kilogram ang prevailing price, tapos 3 kilograms ang na-loss. So 180 times 3 equals 540 pesos loss kada baboy. Okay. And halimbawa, hindi lang isang baboy ang tinransport mo o binenta mo. Halimbawa, large scale farm ka. Meron kang commercial farm, malawak, madami kang baboy. And if you transport 100 heads ng pigs, that becomes 54,000 pesos losses. 100 times 540 equals 54,000 pesos na loss mo. So, maaring yung shrinkage loss is small. Pwedeng small siya in terms of percentage. Ay, 3% lang naman. But economically, it can be substantial. So, yung halimbawa na lang natin na 100 kilogram pig, 3% ang loss, 180 per kilogram. So, less than 1,000 na. More than 500 na yung losses mo. So, dapat meron tayong proper handling, minimization of stress, and dapat efficient yung transport management natin to protect our profit, no? So basically, production efficiency helps pigs reach market weight. Okay, so yung tinatawag nating marketing efficiency determines whether yung ating farm actually makes money. No, hindi lang sapat ang magandang growth performance ng ating mga baboy. We also have to have marketing efficiency kasi doon natin malalaman kung kumita ba tayo. So hindi lang siya nagtatapos, yung swine production, particularly for the growing finishing stage, hindi lang nagtatapos sa 100 kilogram live weight, kundi nagtatapos siya when your profit or yung income, net income mo is secured. So that ends our discussion for growing finishing stage of pigs until they are marketed. So thank you very much everyone for listening, and I hope you learned something.